Hello and welcome to my HEIRS of the OMEN set review. And before I go into the review itself, I must say that I don't think the meta is going to change that much, and that's the reason you're going to see some pretty low scores overall. Spellbook Runecraft and Midrange Swordcraft now with some of the new loot cards, and of course Combo Roach are still the three best decks in the metagame, and we need some of those decks to get some nerfs before the new archetypes really can flourish and thrive in the game. But for now, most of these decks just land maybe in tier 2 or tier 3, and they just can't compete with the old ones. But nevertheless, let's go with the review. First, we have Abysscraft, and Abysscraft has gotten the mode cards. So you can choose between 2 or more options, and we already had some of those cards in the past, and Abysscraft has got many of those cards. But before, we have a small package of cards that are probably meant for Take 2. We have the Ephemeral Demon Princess, March of the Brutes, and Spirited Gravekeeper. These cards just get a one star because they're completely unplayable in the the constructed metagame. But the Deputy of Entwining, Supplicant of Entwining, Castle of Entwining, Conqueror of Entwining, Screaming and Loathing, Shamnacha, and Rulnai and Balnarake, they all get a 3-star rating for me. I think this deck lands between tier 2 and 3. Honestly, personally, I don't think this deck is that strong. I think it struggles a lot against of course, Spellbook Runecraft, because that deck can finish games, and this deck struggles finishing games. It's really slow, really grindy, similar to the control / mid-range Abysscraft of the past. I think this one is even slower than that one. So yeah, I don't think it can get better than just tier 3 or tier 2, and we'll see. Maybe with some changes, maybe trying to be more aggressive, the deck improves it. So far, I don't think it goes farther than tier 3. Next, we have Dragoncraft. Dragoncraft has gotten the Disdain package, pretty similar to what it was in the original game back, I believe it was 7 years ago, something like that. This one was one of my favorite decks of the past, so I'm really happy to see it coming back for more in this new version of the game. But before that, we have the cards that won't make it into any of the new decks. Snowstorm, Dragonute, Raging Lightning, and Supplicant of Disdain. I believe they're too slow or too little value to actually get any kind of play. But we have the other cards that go into a tier 2 deck. I believe it's gonna be it's gonna struggle against one of the more popular decks right now. I struggle to understand why that is, but Crest Havencraft is the most popular deck right now, and this deck, I believe, has a really bad matchup against it. So against everything else, it has options. Against Crest Havencraft, it doesn't. So as long as that deck is popular, I think this deck is just tier 3. But if Havencraft gets a little less popular, Disdain should rise again to tier 2, and it can fight against some of the top of the meta sometimes. These cards, Devotee of Disdain, Ocean Rider, Nation of Disdain, Conqueror of Disdain, Ferocious Flame, Azurifate, and Galmier, they all get 3 stars. And if Havencraft gets a little bit less popular, they should be 2 stars. Ocean Rider, by the way, I'm really surprised because I wasn't expecting this card to make it into most decks. I think the card is great in a vacuum, but I didn't see it make it into the Disdain deck. But we saw that during the first days, we saw that this deck needs early game damage, needs to push damage in the early game to be able to finish games in the late game. You cannot just rely on just big storm finishers because people are playing ward. So if you cannot kill the ward and hit phase, you basically are doing 0 damage every single turn. So Ocean Rider lets you push some damage in the early game. It's a pretty great card for any Dragon deck, really. So I'm surprised to see it actually making waves, but I mean, I knew the card was good, I just didn't expect it to get so much play. Okay, next we have Forestcraft, and Forestcraft has gotten a new archetype based around an OTK with Izudia. Just a little bit of a meme deck. I mean, if it high rolls or your opponent is pretty slow, you can actually win games with it, but I don't think it's that strong. So you'll see most of these cards will get just 2 stars, and those are Supplicant of Unkilling, Amulet of Unkilling, Congregant of Unkilling, Eradicating Arrow, and Izudia himself. Devotee of Unkilling sadly only gets 1 star. I haven't seen this card getting played. Same with Great Wood Warrior. But Bestial Swipe and Cruel, I have actually seen them getting played in the Roach combo deck. I don't know if it's the right decision, but I think the cards are pretty good actually, and they could keep their spots in the Roach combo deck. So those cards will get 3 stars, and also Battle of the Fairy Blade. I have to give this card 3 stars. The thing is, the Fairy deck hasn't really been popular, but when I have faced it, I've seen that it can be really strong. So I have to give this card 3 stars. The card is completely nuts. Like, I hate to evaluate cards in a vacuum, but I'm not evaluating it in a vacuum. This card is nuts in that deck. The thing is, people aren't playing the deck, so I don't know if the deck is actually good or not. And I cannot play it myself because I have been really unlucky with the Forestcraft legendaries, and I'm missing most of the areas and the Amatas, so I don't know. But I have to give it 3 stars. This card is completely nuts. Okay, next we have Havencraft. Havencraft has gotten the new Crest Havencraft archetype, and it surprised me. People are loving it. It's right now the most popular deck in Ladder. I think it has a really great matchup against Combo Roach, but an atrocious matchup against Spellboost, and pretty bad matchup against mid-range Swordcraft or Loot Swordcraft. So I don't see why people are playing it so much, because it's expected for the best decks to be actually the most played decks. But for now, I have to evaluate it for what people think it is, and mixed with my opinion, to be fair. So, Devotee of Repose, Blinding Faith, Supplicant of Repose, Temple of Repose, Congregant of Repose, Shining Disenchantment, and Marwyn, all of them get 3 stars. Sadly, Himeka, one of the cards that should be played in this archetype, it's being cut. From all the versions that I've seen, people don't like to play Himeka, and I can say the card is pretty slow. And you have to actually spend a Super Evolution in order to get the full value of the card. So it doesn't surprise me that it's not getting played, but I would expect it at least 1 single copy. So yeah, this card gets 2 stars from me. Just they're trying it, but people are not loving it. And then we have Winged Lion Statue and Knight of the Holy Order that actually don't make it into this archetype, but Knight of the Holy Order is pretty good in Haven. Ward Haven, and Winged Lion Statue is good in Stormhaven. So those cards get 2 stars from me because those archetypes are still playable, not that great, and actually these cards don't make them a lot better than what they already were. By the way, I have to add, I hate Devotee of Repose getting played because I think this card is completely awful. But I have to evaluate it with the other cards that are actually getting played in the archetype. So that's why I gave it 3 stars. But I think that card is really awful. And I think, honestly, people should move more into a mix of Havencraft, Ward Havencraft, and Crest Havencraft in order to have an actual really good deck that can compete against almost everything. But people are just trying to stall, and people love their stalls, so this is what we're stuck with, just a really boring control deck. Okay, next, Portalcraft, one of my favorite classes, and I love this archetype. I'm really happy to see Lishena back. This one is one of my favorite decks back in the original Shadowverse together with Disdain. And honestly, it really easy to evaluate these cards because this deck is just a tier 3 deck right now. It has good matchups against some decks. It has a really bad matchups against some others. So it doesn't make it farther than just a tier 3 deck. So Devotee of Destruction, Wired Soul, Supplicant of Destruction, Wasteland of Destruction, Congregant of Destruction, Devastating Soprano, Axia, Heir to Destruction, and Lishena, Melody Manifest. All these cards get just 3 stars. And sadly, Supersonic Fighter and Field Scientist, they're just take 2 cards, so they won't see any kind of play. They're just value generators, so I don't expect them to see any play in any of the new or old decks. But yeah, the Destruction archetype is pretty fun, and I think it could get really good if some of the decks Spellboost get heavily nerfed. Okay, Runecraft. What did Runecraft get? Crap. 1 star for everything. Nah, I'm just joking. Bellaria is 2 stars. The other cards are just 1 star. They suck. Go next. Okay, next up we have Swordcraft, and what can I say? The rich get richer. Swordcraft was already one of the best decks in the metagame, and they got even better with the Usurpation archetype. You should be seeing a lot of Swordcraft in the ladder, and they seem pretty much unbeatable when they don't break. So yeah, these new cards, all of them get 4 stars from me, except of course for Sinchiro and Octris. Those get 5 stars because they are the core of the deck. They are the reason you're winning games with this archetype. So everything Usurpation related, so Devotee of Usurpation, Supplicant of Usurpation, Lair of Usurpation, Congregant of Usurpation, Returning Slash, that doesn't say Usurpation, but whatever. These cards get 4 stars, and Sinchiro and Octris get 5 stars. Comrade of the Swordmaster and Shield Bash, and Peppy Scout, those get 1 star. I mean, Swordcraft has so many good cards that these cards, and I mean, Shield Bash is pretty great, and Peppy Scout is not bad, but yeah, these cards won't play. In Take 2 though, they are pretty good. And last but definitely not least, Neutral. And unsurprisingly, Gilnelis Voracity Manifest is making it into some of the top tier decks, especially into Spellboost Runecraft, as a way to stabilize and heal back the damage that some of these new decks, new archetypes are doing. And Dogged One also is being played in some decks, especially those that need a little bit of punch and a little bit of finishing power. Because most of the time this card is going to be just a 3/1 Storm for 3, which is actually pretty great. So again, this is going to get 4 stars from me, because if it's making it into the best deck in the game and some other decks, it deserves the 4-star rating. Dogged One, just 3 stars because it's not that amazing of a card, but it's actually getting played. Everything else, sadly, including Jerry, they're just 1-star cards. I think Jerry is just a meme, and I love Tablet of Tribulations. I think this card would be broken in any other card game, but Shadowverse is not about drawing 5 cards in the span of 5 or 6 turns. Paying 3 play points to do nothing, it's not good enough. So yeah, this card sadly just get 1 star.